Welcome to the B Show. I am your host, Deborah Voltaire Coulange. I'm not sure if you can see, but on the bottom of the screen, hopefully it'll show up when I talk to someone else. My name change has it's like there. It's no longer Carl Coulange, it's the B Show. For all the people that hit me up, like, why does it say Carl? Let me tell you why. We didn't even get to say hi, how are you? Like, let me tell you why. Because I refuse to pay for Zoom when I have someone who pays for it. It's not tricking if you got it, right? So why am I going to pay for my name to be changed when Carl Coulange pays for it? Like, that's how the rich get richer. Hello. But we found out that we could just change the title. So for everyone who hit me up and was highly annoyed by that, we took care of it. Anyway, welcome to episode 203 of the B Show. We are at the end of February. I can't believe we're about to hit 1 year since we've been home since COVID. Like, that's all that I keep thinking about. Like, I've been home for a year. When this first started, my coworkers and I and Carl and I were like, yo, we're going to be home. We're going to be chilling. Like, it's going to be fabulous times. Like, and literally, I think 2-3 weeks into it, it was like death after death after death after death. And as you all know, as I said numerous times, my grandmother was one of them. And I had everyone, I think I like caught it. It was like, and to this day, thank you, God. I went and got tested last week because I had a horrible sinus infection. And I was like, this is it. The day of the Gitchy is here. Rona has knocked on my door. I could like barely smell. I could still taste, but I was tired. And I was just like, I just don't feel well. And we went away. And I'm like, that's what happened when we went away. But no, just a sinus infection. But for anyone who has taken that test numerous times from my healthcare workers, yo, I'll give you so much credit because the man, okay, I was late. And I think he was annoyed that I was late because I know he told me I have to put back my hazard suit. Like, if you have a time, be there. Like I said, I'm one of those people who were late. It is what it is. I arrive. I'm here. I may be late, but I'm here. So anyway, I arrived, and he told me his whole spiel. And I think because he was mad at me, he stuck that MFR so far up my nose. Yo, I saw stars. And then I kind of like flinched, like, like, wait, what? And I thought he would be like done with this nose and he'll go to the next nose. No, why did Dr. Lou go in the other one back again and then this one? But I got a call back in 2 days and told I was negative. And like my mom said, voila, I am still not back to normal, but it felt good to know that wasn't Rona knocking. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, don't come at this door. I don't got nothing to give to you. Like, this is a foreclosure house. There's no furniture. There's nothing, boo. On to the next. Well, hopefully it's not on to the next person that I know. And now we're just waiting to find out when we could take the vaccine. Someone I know, Carl, has to take it, and he kind of doesn't want to. But I told him in order for him to go back to his little compa parties, if you don't know, that means it's Haitian parties, he's got to get the vaccine. Like, if you want to have all you and your homies, and by homies I mean strangers, because no one he knows goes to them, and if you and your homies want to dance and sweat, and like in Haitian world they call it like a petit chien, which means a little dog, because he's like this close, like you can see all my pores. That's how close he is to the musician. If you want to do that, I'm sorry, bro. You definitely gonna need to get that vaccine. So that's that. Today, it's gonna be a fun show. I'm so excited. If you didn't watch the promo, how dare you? Like, what are you doing with your life? I have the Sibling Soiree with me. They are brother and sister. And I just want to know first, like, how is it to work with your sibling? Me and my sister are super close. We are peanut butter and jelly, crazy glue, and gorilla glue. And it's hard to separate us, but I couldn't work with her. We were two different ways. She gets things done last minute, whereas I planned, and then I get things like I plan, and then I do like 1A cook check. She goes like she goes from 1 to 7 to 6 to 4 to 3, but then still gets it done. I can't work like that. And I know it's hard to work with your sibling in anything, but there's nothing better than having a sibling, because like no one knows what you go through in life. No one understands your story, your upbringing, the way you are than your sibling. And when something happens, like who you gonna go to? Like my husband knows my family so well, but the stories that sometimes I tell him, he's like, what? And no one knows but your sibling. And the same thing for him, vice versa. So I just want to know what it's like to work together. They are such a beautiful brother and sister, I may add. And I don't know if you guys follow Eric. I'll definitely make sure he gives you his handler. His body is amazing. So he eats a lot, but I don't know where it goes. And we would definitely find out. And they're waiting to join in the chat. So I want you all to give a warm welcome to the Sibling Soiree. Let's get these good looking brother and sister in here. You know, it'll be amazing if I can work this mouse pad, because someone who owns this computer refuses to get a mouse pad, and it's very difficult to click in and out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I had it upside down. All right. Hello, doctor. Hi, guys. Welcome to the B Show.
How's it going?
So exciting. How are you?
Good. I'm so excited to meet you. And I'm so happy to see you. Eric's been so long. Eric and I went to high school together.
Seriously, forever. So long. Good to see you.
Yes. I don't know if you guys were listening, but at first I said you guys are like the best looking brother and sister. So I won't say who's better looking, but I will say maybe like she's a doctor, but I won't say.
Oh.
You know, our sisters got to stick together.
Listen, I respect it.
Yes. So for everyone who may not know you guys, can you please tell us about the Sibling Soiree?
Sure. Well, the Sibling Soiree is a space where we sample and support Black-owned food and beverage companies. That's kind of our intro tagline. And we really believe in providing an opportunity to just highlight the amazing brands that are out there. And listen, these are not new companies, right? The reality is that these are businesses that have been in existence for years, and maybe now because the world is suddenly woke, that we're suddenly recognizing and appreciating these brands. And so this just gives us a chance to pay homage to those groups and get a little tasting and sampling in at the moment too.
Right. And let's be real, like we're foodies through and through. Like that's what we do. It's always been our MO. So, you know, and I guess we'll get more into this, but when we came up with this plan, it was literally just like, this is what we love to do. We want to share this with the world. We want to put it out there and highlight some of these businesses while we do it, you know? That's kind of what we are.
Yeah.
I love it. So how did you guys even come up with this concept? And who came up with it?
So this is an interesting story, actually. I don't know if there's a who per se. It was kind of an evolving conversation. So I'm hanging at home one night and my sis hits me up. And like I said, we're always talking foodies, sharing recipes, things like that. That's kind of just our thing. So she texts me with this list of Black-owned wineries. You know, this was kind of at the time when Black Lives Matter was blowing up.
Yes.
Everybody wanted to support Black-owned businesses. And she found this list of Black-owned wineries. And I was like, wow, that's so dope. I was like, we should just try everything on this list. And like, you know, just talking as a foodie to my sister.
Right.
And then, you know, we kept texting back and forth, and every text was an evolution in the mindset and the process. And then it was like, oh, well, we should review them. Oh, maybe we should put this on YouTube because other people might want to see it. And like, next thing we know, we had a whole concept for a show and we ran with it.
It morphed very quickly too. And I think, we're not talking about over a span of days. It was literally like saw the list, started just following back and forth.
Yeah.
And
like a 15-20-minute text exchange. Pretty much.
Crazy.
That's so cool. Yeah. And one thing that you guys did mention is about when this all started doing the Black Lives Matter movement. And one thing about your page that I love is that you guys are true to, like you said, Black-owned businesses and to drinks and all. How important was the Black Lives movement and making sure you have Black business-owned companies for Sibling Soiree?
Yeah, well, I think, similar to what Eric said, just again, someone took the time, right? It was Travel Noir, I can shout them out. And they took the time out to identify all of the Black owned wines that were out there. And, I think that again, at it being at the highlight and the height really of folks were protesting in the streets. Everybody was trying to find a way to be involved and contribute to the movement, right? I think, everybody is not a protester. That's kind of one of the things I tell my students. That might not be your way to support, but maybe you're making it intentional when you're purchasing things to support Black-owned, small business, woman-owned businesses. And so I think that, it was really important to us. And honestly, it started with wine, and there's a long list out there. So we knew we wouldn't be short content. But we said, you know what, let's not just limit it to wine. There are restaurants, there are producers of different seasoning brands, and, all kinds of things that are out there that many times are on the shelves and we don't know have been, off the blood, sweat, and tears of Black people. So it was very important to us.
That's really important. And I just want to piggyback over that for a second and highlight this one part, because you were saying that not everyone's meant to be like on the front line of a protest.
Yeah.
So this was something that I struggled a lot with during that time. I tried so many different things to contribute to the cause and that were meaningful to me. And they all felt very fleeting. It's like, okay, I'm going to donate to this. Now what? I'm going to go march. Now what? You know what I mean? And it became like this. I felt like I needed something to contribute that was true to me, something that had longevity that I could keep on going with. And then when this presented itself, that spoke to me, right? Because this is something that I love and that I'm passionate about. And it's also a way to help uplift the community. So that to me was a really important connection, which, And
then you get to eat and drink with your sister.
Do what you love, support the community. Yes. I mean, it's a win-win.
Best job ever.
Yes. You're like, well, let's do something for the Black community. Do you want to eat and drink?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Another thing about you guys, like the thing that I love going on your page is like forward. There's no what are they, who are they? I mean, from your theme song, which I'm not gonna lie, whoever did it should kind of put that on Apple Music.
Oh, come on. Shout out to Kobe Quay.
We're gonna put a proper shout out there.
Super
He's a cousin. He's a dope musician. Call me Quay on Instagram and platforms. Quay, he's an artist. He just released his first album and it's super dope. He's a crazy lyricist. We gave him our concept and he wrote it out like that. So yeah, culture is very important to us and family as well. Right, as you see in the show. So that was a big
Tell
part
me a little bit about your history, where you guys are from. I see your shirts. Are you ready for coming to America next week? Like,
always.
We have already.
Ghana, baby.
Yes, you are the true story.
Right.
Well, look, I think we really take pride in the fact that we are the children of two Ghanaian immigrants. Ghanaian immigrants growing up on Long Island, where this was before it was cool to be an African, right?
Yes. Right now it's cool to be all kinds of
yes. Cool.
Which I love to see, but we experience it different. Yeah.
It was not always that cool. And so, despite those struggles, oftentimes being in institutions and spaces where we were the only ones, right, who looked like us, our parents did a really good job at instilling our culture within us, at least, and Eric and I had somewhat, different experiences, and he'll talk about his time in Ghana. But I think just having parents who said, no, I don't care if your friends are doing this thing. You are a Ghanaian kid. This is what you're doing. And those things matter. It matters, and you grow with it, right? I also had, part of my background and my work is around international education. So I've been really committed to exposing others to culture, and then also having an HBCU experience. I spent time at Howard University, and so HU, all of those things have kind of in some ways allowed me to not only come into my own, but being passionate about sharing that with others.
Yeah. And I won't say too much
like
more,
such
but
a girl crush right now.
Eric,
you can go. You can
tends to have that effect on people.
Eric, see you later. It was great
having
you.
Bye, Eric. You can go.
I appreciate it. Eric, tell us about
story
you.
of my life. Just to add a little more. We did kind of have different experiences. I mean, kind of the same growing up in Long Island here, but I moved to Ghana when I was a teenager, like kind of formative years, like pre-teenager, 12 to 14, 15, around there. And that completely 100% shaped who I am today, right? Like just the culture and everything in Ghana is very different from the mentality, I should say, is different from here in the US, right? When we talk about like it takes a village to raise a child, that kind of mentality, you know, like it was very much that. So it teaches you a new level of respect for your elders, for your culture, for tradition, for, you know, all of these things that I had at home, but like being in it was also very different, I think, you know?
Yeah, I can relate from being Haitian. I
was going to say that I think you have kind of a similar culture, like mentality. Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't play around.
Nope.
No. And they don't care what your little friend is doing.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I just love, like I said before, I love how you guys are so close, and my sister and I are close as well. But I know siblings argue.
Oh yeah.
What would you say is like your biggest argument when you guys are deciding what wine or what wine to try or what food to try or even post? Like, I don't know who takes the photos, but I know someone gets on a ladder because they just look so nice. Even that, you have to argue like, no, I don't like that photo. Trust me, I got this. You guys cannot be this perfect.
It's a labor of love.
We're definitely not perfect.
But before going into some of our dramas and our beefs, true story, we really are friends, and I don't take that for granted because I know a lot of siblings who don't get along, right?
Yes.
We actually like each other, and so
we are the best of friends. We can honestly say that. We always have been growing up. We are still very, very close, but like you said, siblings fight. That's normal, right? And I think almost because you're so close, there's a level of it that, you know, you can fight and bounce back with no problem. So like we have a problem voicing comfortability,
like you ain't going nowhere.
Like I'm gonna say how I feel right now, and you know what's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Yeah, right. And I think, you know, well, one, I'm appreciative of this process because, you know, we now live different lives, and so in some ways, even though we're close, this gives us a chance to really get to know each other on a different level. It's one thing to like know your sibling, but now to work with each other, right? So like Eric is a perfectionist, you know, when it comes to his craft. And so we'll be shooting stuff and I'll think it's great and I'm ready to go home. And he's like, no,
that's not it.
We gotta do it again. Why? It looks great. And
that's probably the biggest source of tension.
Later on and make it look great anyway. So why do we have to do this again? And so
I think that's our biggest source of tension.
Sometimes it's about that. Sometimes
me wanting to go again.
When I'm tired, I might be a little snap back, you know, and
a lot snap back.
Well,
hold on.
Also,
hold on now. You ain't gonna get on my girl.
I'm just saying, okay. Also, we have to keep in mind, she is a natural born personality. Like she was made for TV and this kind of stuff, right? Whereas I'm behind the scenes guy, right? I'm a photographer. I like to be the one putting the vision together. I'm not always the guy in front of the camera, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, okay, I need to feel right about me. I need to feel right about this segment, everything. And she's just like, I'm a natural, I'm great. And I'm like, no, I need to do it again. So she gets upset, you know? It's a thing.
But I also like things to be done well.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I think that we have that.
And that's where you guys meet in the middle, right?
It's where we meet in the middle.
Yeah.
But like you may be like, it's good. And he's like, no, we could be better.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, she might roll her eyes, but then she's like, okay, let's do it again. And we're good, you know? And then I'm like, that was it. And she's like, great. So, you know.
But the beauty about it is at the end when we do watch it, and we watch our show, we watch it, we're like, damn, that was good. You know, so it makes it worth it.
Yeah. I just want to take a second, because as you talk about like the drama that unfolds on set, I want to shout out our videographer, Carl, because he sees all of the behind the scenes drama.
Well, can I say you wouldn't even have him if it wasn't for
I mean, this is how this happened, right?
Okay.
Like it was through
I was
our
like,
connection.
Carl,
St. Mary's
need you.
reconnecting.
And he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, no, I'm not really asking you. I'm telling you you're gonna do this for them.
That's so dope. And I'm glad you did, because you know what? It was a relationship that worked out perfectly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even what was it last night? I'm like, hey, let's watch a show. Or was it the night before? And he's like, I gotta edit for the sibling soiree. And I was like,
well,
what
listen,
you ain't gonna do.
While we shout out your husband, it's important to shout you out, because you know, when you are in a partnership, and you know that someone is passionate about their craft, you also have to give credit to the partner who is supportive of that. And it's very clear he's always talking about you. And we value that, because again, this is a family show. And so
yes, girl, whenever he wins his Oscar, Golden Globe, whatever, and he gets on stage, like Marie and Malcolm, if he better don't thank me, there's gonna be a problem. Just like
you about to be standing right there next to him.
Right? They're like, ma'am, we are calling Lodge. Yes.
Point and shoot.
Right.
Well, I am him. He is me. What?
That's right.
Yep.
One thing is also is that you guys introduced me to Black Girl Rosé. I usually only drink rosé that's from Paris, because we went there, and to me that's like the best rosé in the world. But that's, you guys are influencers. Do you have people come up to you and say that as well? Like, oh, because of you, I tried this, or...
Well, yeah, actually, I guess. You know, it's funny because like that word influencer, and I guess, you know, maybe it's a generational thing. As I'm very social media focused because of my work. You know, and I think of influencers as like, oh, you have 1 million followers and you're collaborating with brands and all this stuff. And so I don't necessarily mentally put myself in that category, but when you say it like that, yeah, I guess we are influencers, right? You know? Well,
you are influencers because you did the TikTok feta cheese.
This is true.
We did do the TikTok.
Yeah, we are riding some of those trends, and we're definitely putting brands out there. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a level of influence, you know.
Yeah.
I think it was also natural anyway, because I think within our friend circles, we were already kind of the person that they would say, hey, we want to drink something. What should we drink? Right. And so it was already kind of happening informally. So it was kind of natural for us to, we don't call ourselves somms, right? We're not sommeliers. We at some point we'll do the trainings.
We're interested, but that's
what we like,
right?
And being honest about it. Nobody wants to know what kind of notes they are. They just want to know, does it taste good? And so that's what we try to do, make it relative and relevant. Understandable.
Well, that's funny you say that, because I definitely was going to ask you what is your favorite wine, the both of you? Mine is rosé.
We know. Yeah. I feel like I need to send you a bottle of rosé. It's been a while. We know that you're a rosé.
I like pink, and pink is my favorite color.
It looks good on you, girl.
And it tastes delicious. It does.
I don't know what it is. I used to be like obsessed with white wine. And then I think it's like when we went to Paris, it became full-blown rosé. And everyone tells me try red, and we went to like a restaurant. I tried 7 different reds, and I just couldn't do it.
It wasn't it.
Yeah. It's rosé or champagne.
Yeah.
And what about you guys?
I think a lot of people's palates fall kind of like in the same realm. And we also on the show we talk about how a lot of people start sweeter and then progress to getting like a little bit drier as your palate changes over time as you try different wines. So true, because I like dry rosé. And I used to like sweet. Yeah, exactly. So I'm the same way. And now, I mean, it's almost gotten to the point where I'm just exclusively dry. So a lot of times on the show, I'm like, that's too sweet. That's too sweet. That's too sweet. Yeah. I think my go-tos now are for white, probably a Sauvignon Blanc. And for red, I love a Pinotage. And there's a story behind that because literally my whole family, all my friends have been to South Africa. You all know, if you follow me, that I travel often. South Africa is at the top of my list and I haven't been there yet. So this is a grape that's very specific to the region, and my sister actually introduced me to it and I fell in love with it, and it's not in every liquor store. So I'm always on a hunt for a good Pinotage, and that is kind of my go-to red. Pinotage and pizza, I suggest. Great pairing. Yeah. That's
And you, my dear?
It depends on my mood, right? Similarly, I think that I go through phases. I love a good oaky, buttery Chardonnay. for whatever reason, I feel like it's nice and full bodied and it just really tastes delicious. So I definitely like a good chard. With reds, I'll probably do a red blend or a cab, right? It kind of, again, depends. Of course, Pinotage, just because so Pinotage has like a very coffee taste flavor to it. So it's very unique. Sometimes it can be really heavy. But if I'm going to drink a red, it'll probably be a red blend. But I do like bubbles every now and then,
Yes.
and so whether it's some Prosecco, there's something sexy about it. It's just like, oh, okay, I'm drinking
feel
a glass of champagne. Yeah, you feel grown and you don't need a celebration to pop a bottle either, So I definitely like a champagne or a Prosecco every now and then.
So I usually do something called the lightning round with all of my guests. So with you guys, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, no thinking at all. But instead of answering for yourself, you're going to answer for your brother. And you will answer for your sister.
Interesting.
Are we ready? So I'm going to ask the question, and ladies first, always on my show. And you will go first. Tell us what Eric's favorite color is, and then you'll go and tell us what Lucinda's favorite color is. And there's no thinking. So the first thought that comes to your head.
Okay. Favorite color, blue. All
Her
day.
favorite color?
Red.
Okay. What meal can you eat every day?
Popeye's chicken.
Damn, I feel some kind of way about that. She's not wrong though.
And what about her?
Maybe her husband's oxtail.
Oh, I love a good oxtail.
We all.
How many countries have you been to?
Oh shoot.
Yeah. We can answer that for each other. We both travel so much.
Can I say ranges? So I'll definitely say...
estimate.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Okay. Go, Eric. 1, 2, 3.
Wait, did you go?
Yeah, she said 10.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go 13. I don't know. I think we're both wrong.
Favorite alcoholic drink?
Whiskey.
Yeah. Champagne.
Okay. Who takes home leftovers when you go to a restaurant?
Both of us? We ain't leaving no food on the table.
We negotiate.
We do. We split it up strategically so we both get something to take home.
Oh, that's so smart.
We might even order another side or two.
That's to make it a whole meal.
Yeah.
Right.
That's so funny. That's smart idea. I'm gonna tell this to my sister. She's the queen of taking home leftovers. I'm gonna tell her that one.
It's not like eating good food the next day.
First job.
Working at was it the Time Life building?
Yeah.
Working at Time Life as an intern for Sports Illustrated.
Oh, double points.
Okay, do we go back and correct the wrong answers?
Yes,
or?
go ahead.
Okay. Intern at People Magazine.
All right, go ahead and tell us. What was your first job, Eric?
It was in the Time Life building. It was not at Sports Illustrated. It was an IT internship for a book publishing company.
Oh, boring.
Oh, so like,
it was boring.
No, but didn't you intern first before the company? Anyway, we'll talk about that offline.
And Lucinda, yours?
It was a summer job at Chase Bank.
All right.
What was your country number?
I don't know. I've never.
She said yours was 10, and you said hers was 13.
I went low because she went low. Mine's in the 20s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he's been around more.
Mine's in the 20s.
Yeah,
and
before you joined, I told everyone to please make sure you give your handler because your stomach is like a washboard. It is amazing. Amazing.
Thank you.
I even had to say to him, drilling. And he was like, I'm going to tell Carl, like, listen, mind your business. You know what I'm saying? I could compliment.
Well, thank you. I worked very hard. Quarantine had a different plan for me.
Oh, yes.
I'm getting back to it.
Now you went from washboard to just a board. It's all right.
A board. Like charcuterie board.
have either of you ever been in a physical fight?
Am I still answering for him?
Yes.
Oh, no.
That's good. Last question. What chores did you do as a child?
Again, for him?
Yes.
Dusting.
This is literally
dusting
every Saturday.
Yes, I was gonna say every Saturday.
I'm just gonna tell her this. Her thing was the bathroom in the kitchen, and I dusted and vacuumed every Saturday morning. Dad would wake us up to loud either high life music, Ghanaian high life music, or jazz, and it was time to clean. Yes. And we had our jobs. That was every weekend.
Yes, just like a Haitian household. I'm trying to tell you, there's a book, and I need to find this book. Because every Black parent, doesn't matter what national, every Black
from this book
has this book, and it's like Saturday morning, you blast the music up, make them do their chores. They don't do their chores, you read them for filth.
Yeah.
It's just a rule.
Who wrote that book? We need to find that person.
The thing is, I don't think you find the book until you're like in your 50s, and then they're like,
they pass it down. After.
Yeah, you can't even be like in your 30s yet. It has to be past.
It's too early.
When you're a certain age. All right, and this is my final question, but this is for yourself. If you can have a sibling soiree date with any other sister, brother, sister, who would it be? Eric?
Can it be a couple?
Yes.
How about you and Carl?
I would love that. Butter me up.
I think we're long overdue for a soiree date.
And my girl?
Look, I love me some. Well, I love Barack and Michelle Obama, so it would definitely.
That's a good one.
Eric's like, oh man.
It would definitely be that.
Eric's like,
I'm over here kissing up to the show.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
That's a very good one. I probably would choose Rihanna. And I think she would be great with wine. And for some reason, she always gets to leave whatever restaurant she is with wine. So I know drinking in the car.
She's
like, if you go and look, she has so many photos leaving.
Yeah.
With a bottle.
She's fun to hang with. I can attest to that.
So I'm like, that would be a good time.
Yep.
Well, I want to thank you both so much for taking your time to be on my little B show. Please, slowly tell them your handler so they can follow you, please.
Absolutely. So we are at the Sibling Soiree on all the platforms. Also, I am at Eric Akwe, and she is at Dr. Lou
okay.
Doctor.
Okay, Black female
idol.
Doctor.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for being on my show. Eric, I will have my people call your people since I had a crush on her, but now she doesn't even want to go out with me. So Eric, call me.
Yes, I
won. And I hope you guys have enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Keep doing what you're doing and continue to lift as you climb, sis.
Thank you so much. Same to you guys.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was so fun. I love them. Do you see their smile? Like, you could tell. They're just happy, genuine people. And next coming in, we have Mike Miller to do a little sports talk with us. Everyone, please. He does this a lot. I call it the cha-cha slide. So when he comes in, I'm going to do this. You ready? Hello, Mr. Miller.
Yeah, now I'm feeling good. I'm really in.
How are you today?
Hey, Deb, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too. See, this is the real interview right here. This is the real conversation. Carl was just playing, media man. Deb, you are the one. So,
thank you so much. First of all, I really, really want to thank you for being here. For everyone who may not know, your hometown, which you left New York, for Texas. Yes. And first, I just want to thank you so much for giving me any time to be on the show. Everything that's happened with Texas and, talking to Carl, he told me what you were going through. And if you don't mind, if you can just share,
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Deb.
Brother, no problem.
I appreciate it. So yeah, so it was interesting. So what was it, last Sunday? Not last Sunday, Sunday before that. Basically, when everything started to happen, the second week of February, it started off with just cold weather.
Right.
And so with the cold weather, we had started to see, maybe the temperature dropping, ice on the roads because it was rain with the cold weather. We were just being mindful of it. But that Sunday, I believe that was the 12th or the 13th. That Sunday, there was ice on the roads.
Right, because I remember there was like the pileup we heard on the news, so that's when it started.
Yeah, so that was, I think that Thursday in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm in San Antonio, so so that was kind of like everybody was monitoring it, like, okay, something's happening.
Yeah.
So, but they already had projected that the state would get this winter solstice. So from Sunday night, it really started to get really cold, and then Monday, of course, it hit a low of 10 degrees. And so, of course, we're from New York, so we've seen that before, but here the real issue was
they're not used to it. Right.
Yeah, so that was the biggest thing. The biggest thing for this winter solstice was it was too cold for too long. Yeah. They're not used to being this cold, and especially not this long. I think hasn't had this type of cold weather in 100 years. So we personally had our electricity was off from Sunday night till Thursday the following week. So that was about 4 or 5 days.
And you have children.
Yes, I have a beautiful wife and 3 children, small children, under 6. My daughter will be 5 tomorrow and 1.5. So as you can imagine, the kids are like, they're cold, but they're playing around, but they're cold. My wife is cold. So it was just like, it was really tough. And of course we were snacking and everything because you really couldn't eat anything because all your food was spoiling.
Right. I saw videos of people putting their food in the snow, like to keep it cold. But then I'm like, but where are you going to cook it?
Yeah, that was the thing about it. And they were making reports telling people not to put their food outside and not to put stuff outside. So they were actually knowing that people were doing that and was trying to go away from it. So we had to kind of like find ways. The Monday night, our neighbor was cooking on the grill. He's from Alaska, so he.
It's funny. I was going to ask that. I was like, wasn't anyone grilling? Because I think the first day or two, you would be like, let me just grill in like shorts and a jacket and laugh this off, thinking it's going to be a moment. But now you're like, all right, we're on day 4. It's not funny anymore.
Yeah, no, that's Deb. You crystallized exactly what we felt once we hit day 4. It was like, okay, all right, this is serious now. Let's stop laughing. Because you kind of wanted to wait it out to see, okay, maybe this will last, a day or two, and then you could get back to normal. But when we started to see, especially Tuesday for us, we just had, it was intermittent Sunday and Monday, but Tuesday was completely off, no electricity. So once Wednesday hit, it was like, all right, let's try to find a plan B. And fortunately enough, a good friend of ours lives not too far from us, and they still had electricity. So we were able to go to their house and, get warm and sleep in a warm bed. Brush your teeth, wash your body. So it was good to have that relief, and some people weren't fortunate enough to do that. I think it was estimated it's been over 90 deaths in the state contributing to this whole winter solstice. So it's an unfortunate situation, but by the grace of God, we were able to be sustained. So, I'm thankful for that.
I won't touch too much on it because, this is not a politics show, but
you know me, I'm a politics person, so go there.
I know, but this is supposed to be fun and bubbly, but I will say, thank God that our president came to see what he can do and aid, because the senator was going to DR. He basically was like, F this, I'm out.
He going to Cancun, man.
You know what I'm saying? He's trying to get some sun rays.
That's right.
Until he got caught. The power of social media.
That's right. You cannot hide. Social media will expose you. You cannot hide.
Yeah, people were like, wait a minute.
Like, you look familiar.
What are you doing here?
I know you from. Okay.
Yeah, and then he was like, I guess I gotta go back home. I was trying to celebrate my daughter's birthday.
Okay. Stop. He blamed them. He said it because they
he was
wanted
like,
to
if
go.
I'm gonna throw somebody, just throw the little kid. She won't.
Little
She don't know.
10-year-olds don't care.
Right? But like I said, I'm so grateful that you could be here. God bless you and your family and everyone in Texas. These times are, I don't know. I'm hoping 2021 is not like last year, but I don't know, man. So far, things are crazy already.
That's right. It's already crazy. So
Yeah.
who knows? when it comes
But like
back.
I said, thank you so much. And now it's time for some sports talk.
Yay.
And if you don't know, I know nothing but everything about sports. So this is going to be a great time. And I had a question about football, and I was told, don't even ask because you don't do football.
No, I don't. So I appreciate you not even asking.
Well, this is my show, so I ask whatever the F I want to.
So ask me if you want to.
All right, and then I'll ask, and then you'll just skip it. But we won't get there unless we need to.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I actually was going to ask you a question, but nothing gets me more excited than just getting Carl Coulonge upset. I don't know.
Why do you get him upset?
So while I was getting ready today, and I was going to ask you a question about Kyrie Irving, and I'll still ask that question, but they said the Celtics are saying the reason why they're not performing as well as they are is because they're still, missing Kyrie Irving. And Carl believes that that is true. But I think get over it. You lost him. Now it's time to move on. Am I wrong?
Wait, they're saying they're missing Kyrie Irving?
Yes. Was he not on the Celtics? See, I know nothing but everything.
But why would they be Kyrie wasn't making them good. He was making them bad.
Well, according to Carl Coulonge, that is the reason why they're not doing as well as they should be. So please educate me, because I listen to what my husband says, but from what I see, the Celtics have not been good since Paul Pierce. But I may not know much. Tell me, the last time that I know the Celtics were popping was Paul Pierce. And the big three.
Tell him, Deb. Tell him, Deb, you know he emotional and he not thinking straight.
I know, but when I try to have the conversation, and I know nothing about everything, but what I do recall, the Celtics really haven't been. I mean, when was the last time they even made it to the playoffs?
No, they made it to the playoffs. They make it to the playoffs every year.
I'm sorry. Championship. When was the last time they got there?
2009.
Oh.
Yeah, 2009. So we talk about over 10 years. But Deb, here's the real problem, and Carl really knows this. The real problem with the Celtics is they should have fired Danny Ainge, their GM. They should have fired him like 2 or 3 years ago. They haven't. And the problem is Danny Ainge has been doing picking the obvious people in the draft, like picking Jason Tatum second. Anybody would have picked him there. So he's been doing obvious things that have been, for the last couple of years, covering up the fact that he's a bad GM. He doesn't know how to build.
He just pick, what's his name, Tristan Tom?
That was a horrible signing.
Horrible. I don't even know anything, and I could have told you that's bad. You should have just let him play on the Kardashians team and just let it go. Even I know that. He is tall for no reason. When he plays, he does nothing.
Now, listen, Tristan Thompson is still in this league because of LeBron James's ability.
Amen. There's a clause somewhere that says, let my homie go and let him do whatever he wants.
Yes. Keep him in the NBA as long as I say so.
LeBron's like, I ain't gonna play with him though.
Yeah,
but
right.
I tried.
That's right. LeBron like, I ain't playing with him, but
y'all gotta make sure you keep him. Yeah,
that's right. That's
Even
right.
though he's like, I told Carl, I'm like, he has 2 left feet. The other day I watched him and I'm like, how is he on the floor? And he's taller than almost everyone on the team. Everyone he's blocking. I just don't understand.
Some people are just getting, like I said, some people, size now is a premium in the NBA. Not a lot, everybody's doing small ball, so not a lot of people have that much size. So because he's tall, I guess you want to keep him, and he historically is a decent rebounder, so I guess you want to keep him, but he's really not that good. So but it really is the problem with the Celtics, because they got blown out last night by the Hawks. The problem with the Celtics starts from the top. Their general manager should have been fired, and he's not fired yet, and no one knows why. But you had different general managers he's living off of one championship 13 years ago, 13 years ago, and they should have got rid of him. And so I don't know if the owner owes him money or something. I don't know what it is, but they got to get rid of him because and all I'm gonna say, I'm gonna just sneak this in here, Deb, because I got to, because I was thinking about it last night. Had he been a black GM, failing like this, because there's a perfect example. Joe Dumars, he was the GM for the Pistons, and he won a championship with Isaiah Thomas and them. He was the GM. They won a championship under his stewardship, but then over the years, they were getting progressively worse, and they got rid of Joe Dumars. Even though they was emotionally connected because he played for the Pistons, they got rid of him. Danny Ainge, he been sticking around way too long, and this team is getting worse and worse and worse. It's time for him to go. And then then you're gonna have to look at Brad Stevens too, their coach as well, because I don't think he's as great as everybody thinks he is. So yeah, they got some problems.
Now back to Kyrie Irving. Also was told that he would like to change the NBA logo to Kobe Bryant. And he has the approval of Vanessa Bryant. And I know I'm going to say something, and I know everyone's going to attack me, and I get it, and I don't care. And rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. But why? Why does he have to be the logo? Like, we didn't think about this before he passed away. I'm just saying, why?
So this is, so the backstory is that was Kyrie's favorite player. Kobe was like a mentor to him. So Kobe means a lot to Kyrie Irving. So I understand it from that point.
I get it. So then change your number to his number and your last name to Brian.
That's right. And Kobe meant a lot to most of the current players. But if you are going to change the NBA logo, which they will not, they'll most likely, everybody believes they should have changed it to Michael Jordan. It should have been a jump.
That's the Memento.
Yeah.
That's who it should be.
Yeah. So Michael Jordan, there is no Kobe Bryant without Michael Jordan. And so Michael Jordan, because when you got to think about it, the Magic, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird,
Scottie Pippen may say there's no Jordan without him. I'm just saying. Everyone's going to say,
it's true. Everybody,
you wouldn't be here.
That's true.
Then LeBron's going to be like, oh, can I get my name added on this? Then when Dwayne Wade's son gets into the NBA, can I get my dad name added on this? I'm just saying.
I think it's a lot of, like, the NBA has, in the past few years ago, I believe it wasn't that big of a groundswell for it, but they had talked about changing the logo, Michael Jordan being on it.
I remember
the NBA, because of the branding, it's not like the Washington football team where it's a racial slur. This is just, Jerry West is the silhouette. There's a big backstory behind it. But so basically, the NBA is never going to change their logo. It's not something that's pressing for them. Would it be nice if they changed it? I'm not going to complain if it's Kobe. I love Kobe too, so I wouldn't complain about it. But I just think people are going to argue for Jordan. They're going to say, why would you skip Jordan and make it Kobe? It'll be more issues than I think they need to focus on right now. There's other things that the NBA players can be worried about. I think
maybe they can open like a museum, right?
Yeah.
Like the Kobe Bryant Museum, or like a foundation or something.
Right. I think that's more appropriate.
Worry about that, Curry, instead of going to all your strip clubs. All right. Another thing is the Utah Jazz is taking over. They're even dominating the Lakers.
Yes.
And that's amazing because I don't like the Lakers. Never did, never will. And if you watch the first show, I said why. It's because they played against the Kings and they won, and Sacramento Kings in '99. So till this day, I will never root for the Lakers.
Deb, we are more alike than I ever knew. That was one of my reasons why I don't like the Lakers. No, because I was a big fan of the Kings, particularly Mike Bibby. So I was a Mike Bibby fan. So wow, Deb, we're the same in that. Yes, that is
so I don't care. And I like LeBron. I just don't like Lakers.
Oh, well, then that's where we differ.
I know. Well, the only reason why I like LeBron is because what he did for Miami,
That's right. He
put us on the map, and that was huge for Dwayne Wade and Dinosaur. So that was a big By dinosaur, I mean Bosch. We all know.
Goodbye.
And that was amazing for that time. And I mean, when he left, though, I was furious because you took our time to do this whole publicity, like, I'm taking
That's
my
right.
talents to my
That's right.
and then you left. So, but I still got love for him for what he did. I just don't like the Lakers.
So
But
yeah, Utah.
do you feel like Utah Jazz is about to take this over?
Yeah, yes. And I'm gonna tell you what. I'm saying yes. See, when we talked about it before on the sports hit list, I think it was last week, Carl tried to, your husband in his media savvy ways, try to push me to make a prediction that I did not have to make. And
He's
I told
a
him no.
bully.
He's a bully.
You know, this is what happens when you were younger, when he was younger, you know, those people, like, they didn't get a say. No one really paid them attention. Now he has a platform.
Now I know.
With his show. And he just wants to, you know.
He takes advantage. Okay. Yes. I know that now. Thank you for giving me that.
Don't let him try to tell you.
You hear that, Carl? I'm standing up for myself. Your wife is backing me now. I'm standing up for myself.
And you do just like that with your fingers, too.
Just like, stop trying to bully me, Carl. So he tried to make me pick Utah last week. I didn't want to pick Utah last week. But this week, there was an 8-game stretch that I wanted to look at. Certain teams they were going to play. They played all playoff teams. They blew out the Bucks. They beat Philly. They beat the Clippers. They just smoked the Lakers last night. They beat the Heat twice. They're 10-1 in February. They have every ingredient to win a championship. Every ingredient right now. There's a bunch of numbers that I could throw out there, but they have all the things that you need to be a championship team. So, especially given what's wrong with Anthony Davis, yeah, I think they got a good chance to come out of the West. Deb, did you fall asleep? Oh. I was like, what happened to you? Oh,
I'm listening to you. It's called respect. Keep going.
Oh, yes. So,
I know what you're used to on the sports hit list. Everyone just talks over everyone and is screaming. No, on my show, we're educated. We let people speak.
Oh, what you trying to say? We all dumb on the sports hit list?
No, you just say dumb things sometimes. But, you know, that's how it is on the B Show. That's right. You know, that's like high school, and this is private, like, you know, like public school, and this is private school.
Oh, it's private school?
College is like too bougie. We still...
that's public school versus this private school.
Yes.
That was public. Sports hit list public school. All right,
yes. That's all.
I'm a public school kid, so I'm cool with that.
All right, you see, so you understand I'm a private school. That's all. That's what we do here.
No, but that's Utah is, I think they're a serious threat to at least make it out of the West. I don't know if I'm picking anybody to beat the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, but I do think Utah can make it out of the West.
Now, wouldn't that be amazing if Utah goes against the Nets? Because everyone is predicting that it's going to be the Lakers and Nets.
Oh, that would be the funniest thing ever. I would laugh for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
Me too. So would I. Do you think that Utah is better than the Nets, or you think they're getting close?
I think right now, the Utah's the best team in the league. And just in terms of record, I'm going to be fair to them about their record. They're 26-6, so I have to respect that. But the Nets, if you had to pick the best team, like if you ignored the record and just said, looking at a team, ignoring the record, the Nets are the best team because they have something no other team can stop. Those three guys.
They got Bobby Smurder back. Bobby Smurder is going to be at the next game.
That's crazy. Brooklyn already going to be on tilt because Bobby got out. Yeah. So you already know.
If he shows up, it's a wrap.
That's all it takes is for him to like perform at halftime, the Smurder dance, the Smoney dance. It's going to be over.
That song is so old, but if that song came on right now, everybody gets
That's old, but because it's Bobby, because he came home, it'll go crazy. Like,
so true. You're so right. Okay, so we all know, unfortunately, this week we heard about Tiger Woods.
Yes.
And he has no recollection. He has no idea what happened to him. So sad. And they said it was a pure accident. Do you think he'll ever go back to playing golf? This is not football, so you can answer this question.
No. I think
no, you're not going to answer, or no, he's not?
No, I'm saying no, he's not. I don't think I think he'll go. Golf is one of those sports where you can kind of play till you're like 90 or something like that.
Legs.
But so that's why I think no. He's already had the back issue for years. And the back issue has been the reason we haven't seen him be the dominant Tiger Woods that he used to be. And he still, I believe it was just a week or two ago, he was dealing with.
I'm sorry, I don't even mean to laugh
surgery.
because we just said Bobby Smyrna, and then you said about a week ago, and then I'm thinking of
about a week ago.
yeah,
Okay.
the other girl, the young ma. So it's like the whole. All right,
Good
sorry,
job,
go. Yes, about a week ago. Yes.
Yeah, so I think he was dealing with back issues, and because I think he was debating whether he was going to be in the Masters. So just with all the injuries, he's in his 40s. I think he's in his 40s now. So with all the injuries, especially this one, you almost lost your life. I think Tiger is, and basically, and his resume is complete. I know he wants to chase Jack Nicklaus's record of major wins. I don't think he's going to catch it now. I think, just for now, be with your family. But I think this will be one of those final wake-up calls for him. Not to say that he was like needing one, but I think this will be a way to say.
Well, this will be like his second one because we had the painkillers before, and he bounced back. Thank God, because in the media we forgive all, and he proved himself again. But I just don't see after something so traumatic like that.
Yeah, because he broke his leg and his ankle. I just think it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you're the greatest. Most people consider Tiger Woods the greatest golfer ever. Yeah, we got it. So rest up, just go into the second phase that most athletes get into, that second life, so to speak. So
yes, unfortunately, like Kobe tried, and
Kobe was doing a great job.
Yeah, and the first thing I thought was, thank God that we didn't get another Kobe when they said that they had to take the jaws to open up the car. I just said, thank God, because I mean, it's not the same sport, but it's still losing a GOAT.
Yeah, it is.
At an early, young age with family and kids and everything.
That's right.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being on my show. I don't know if you know this, but I mean, I saw you before in person. I've hung out with you in person, but there's something different about your voice when I hear you on the sports hit list. It annoys the hell out of me. Why? I can't stand your voice. Whenever you're on, I'm like, turn it off. But then I listen. So I don't know what effect you have. Like, you need to do some kind of recording, because I know you're also, you preach in your church. I know they probably say to you like, this man's annoying, but they go home and they're like, yo, what he said today really hit my soul.
Yo, Deb, you are the first person that has ever described my voice as annoying. Literally the first person.
It's annoying, but it's so powerful at the same time.
Most people are always shocked by it. They're like, well, how are you like this thin guy with this one person?
You sound like what God sounds like. So maybe that's why, because I hear God telling me like, don't eat that cookie. Be nice to Carl. You know what I'm saying?
One time, this is a true story. When I was working as a cable technician, I went to a customer's house, and the woman told me, it was a little kid, and she was like 15 or something. She said, you sound like you're supposed to be a fat man or something like that. That's what she said to me. And I was like, what?
Goodness.
I was like, what is that? I don't know what that means. What does that mean? But basically, everybody sees me, they hear my voice, and they expect it. Like, I don't know what you expect from people's voices. So you are the first person that told me my voice is annoying. I'm telling my wife, I'm going to tell Michelle that Deb said my voice is annoying.
Like, not to be whatever, I bet for your wife, you hit it with
No, it's great. No, this is great.
I was going to say, you hit it with that voice from the guy from Boys to Men. Yeah, baby, I'm on my knees crying. And she was like, oh, yes, Mike, amazing. Love it. And then when you talk to your kids, especially your son, you're like, yo, he ready to hear, you know what I'm saying? You don't even got to yell. That voice is already like instilled in them. They're like, oh my God.
Yeah, sometimes they get nervous. Sometimes they get nervous.
But at the same time, I don't know. I tell Carl, I'm like, Mike's on your show today. And he's like, how do you know? I'm like, I hear the voice. But I listen.
Oh, because you be in the room and you hear it with the...
but I listen. It's weird. I just want to let you know that. And also, a little birdie told me, I don't know if you know, but at the end of the show, I always have this bird. And it's just like...
Is it called?
Yeah, it's a green bird. And he told me that you used to rap.
I did. I still rap.
Oh, you better bust. When I have a couple of drinks in me, I think I'm a rapper. I think Carl has told you this.
Yes. He posted videos of you rapping. He's posted videos. He
Yeah,
has.
when I get a couple drinks, I'm like, Deb Star the rap, you know what I'm saying? But you want to?
No, I still rap. I don't record in the sense of I don't make music anymore. I may have I featured on a song or two like a year or two ago on when I was in Michigan. Some of the youth at the church that I was in, they do music, and they was like, Pastor Mike, we know you rap, so
Wait,
come
now,
do a song.
Pastor Mike, what were you rapping about? Like the bread and the wine with Jesus?
I'm not like until I rap. Of course, it's like gospel rap, so to speak. But I'm not as like Jesus, Jesus, Jesus here, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Oh yeah, no, it's more of a pattern, and because I rap, so it's like I incorporated it in my in a couple of the rhymes. So yeah, they let me feature on some songs with them. But in terms of my own music, no, I'm not. I'm retired in that way where I just enjoy it. I've always been a writer, so I love writing music. I love writing rhymes, putting patterns together, seeing how it can be crazy and ridiculous in my mind, and then to other people, it's probably like, that's kind of weird. But yeah, so it's fun for me.
That's still cool. Like I said, I want to thank you so much for being on my little show here, the B Show. Please check out Pastor Mike. Some of the stuff that you do say is very uplifting, and it's so great that what you do for the youth. And I'm so thankful that you and your family are all well in Texas. I don't know why you're in Texas wearing a New York Mets sweatshirt, but we'll let that slide.
Listen, man, I'm going to be a Mets fan no matter what.
Nah, once you leave, bro, you could go over there. The only thing that we care about is Texas is Beyonce. So that's the only thing that gives you a little, and Megan Thee Stallion. That's all that helps you.
Listen, I'm always a New York. I can't not be a New Yorker. People hear it in my voice, and they're like, "Oh, you from New York?" I can't stop that. Man.
Even what is it? The Texans, they didn't even want J.J. Watt, and he's from that's what's happening down there, bro. Crazy stuff.
I don't really care about football, Dad. I'm just keeping it 100.
See, that's the voice. That's the voice he gives to his wife at night. You know what I'm saying, baby? It's all good.
No, I don't.
That's the voice that got the 3 kids.
No, it's just I'm not really a thing for me.
You know what I'm saying? That's how you get your wife to wash dishes. Come on, baby.
That's not. No, it's not. No, it's not, man. I'm very respectful, and I'll wash the dishes to help out. I do that.
Carl, sometimes. You heard that? No, Carl washed dishes. Let me not give it. Let me not play.
Listen, before we get off, I told Carlos I told him all summer. Listen, I love you guys doing the whole challenge of whoever loses gets to buy the person food. Yeah. The video you did when y'all won, I think it was game 2 or 3, and you said, Alexa, play Miami.
Oh my God, I think that was like everyone's favorite.
No, but you have mass swag, but you were so smooth with it. You was like, Alexa, play Miami. And then it started playing and you started dancing. I was like, yo, this is the greatest video ever.
Well, funny that you say that. The reason why I got this show is because of those. Long story short, Errol, who, has his whole network, he was like, who is that girl that you do the challenge that you did with the Boston versus Miami? He was like, that's my wife. And he was like, she needs a show. And he was like, she does have one on Instagram. He's like, no, I need to put her on my network. This girl needs to be seen. And doing those challenges. And I told Carl, if your shitty team makes it, let's do it again. And he's like, no. Because I took all that money.
What's the guy's name? Errol?
Yes.
Thank you, Errol. Thank you. Thank you for giving Deb a show. This is for not like Deb. He was right. We needed this.
Thank you so much.
People needed this. So I am grateful to be on this show.
I'm grateful to have you on this show.
As soon as I got the electricity back, I text Carl. I said, yo, make sure you let Deb know I still want to be on the show. I'm about to pull up. Yeah, tell her. So
thank you really so much. Thank you so much. You were definitely on the top pickings. Everyone after this, I'm just kidding because I'm calling it right now. I want you, Gregor, Mr. Polius. I want you next. I'm calling it now.
Good dude. Greg's a good dude. Yes, and you gotta have me back. I'm gonna beg to be back too. I'm gonna
text a call. Of course. And then I'll make sure it's all about football.
No, then I'm not coming back then.
Okay.
No.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Mike Miller. He will read you a lullaby. He'll tell you a gospel. And in the end of the day, he'll tell you how much he hates the Lakers and LeBron James. Thank you so much for giving me your time. I hope everything works out for you in Texas. And you know you always have a place to stay when you come to New York.
Awesome. Thanks, Dev. I appreciate
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, guys. That is the end of the B Show. Thank you so much for my guest, the Sibling Soiree, and Pastor Mike. Thank you so much. I didn't say I said And I just want to thank you all for watching me on my 3rd episode. I can't wait to see you for the 4th. Next week, I'm going to have my best friend, Ziggy, and hopefully this gets out to Gregor and he will be on my show. He doesn't even know that I want him. I just said it right now. Thank you so much. If you don't know, the little birdie is here and hopefully he'll take me out to dinner. So enjoy your weekend. Be yourself, be kind, be blessed, and most of all, be true to yourself. This is Deborah Voltaire Kwan signing out. Bye.